All right, it's Friday, folks, and you know what that means. It is 5 for Friday. We have Coach Katie Maloney here, as always, and Jed Blackwell on the controls. And we're going to have to rename our 5 for Fridays to 5-ish for Fridays because I see a list of 7 things here that Coach Katie Maloney has come up with, but they are 7 good things, and we're going to try to squeeze these in and give you some motivation going into your weekend. Today we are going 5-ish things that you should say to yourself. So now we're talking to ourselves, right?
Yes.
You know, I interesting when you came up with this one for a 5 for Friday. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about the number of thoughts that come into your head daily, and that over 80% of those were negative. They were doing a study, and this was Stanford study or something, and they where 80% of the thoughts that daily come into your mind have some kind of a negative context. So hopefully you're going to be saying good things we should be saying to ourselves.
I think some days that's low.
Oh, I agree. Well, the problem with negative thoughts, I don't know about you guys, but when I start having negative thoughts in the morning, it's like it's this cascading effect of negativity all day long in my head.
Yeah, for what happens to me the first hour I'm awake, that's the day.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But it's your internal dialogue, and that's why when I was thinking about what should be our list for this 5 for Friday, 5-ish for Friday, and I was like, we need to talk about this because what you're saying to yourself, you are with yourself all day long. And what you say to yourself repeatedly, even if sometimes I don't necessarily believe it, I just go ahead and say it anyway.
Yeah.
So the first thing is that I like to say to myself is I am strong. Mentally and physically. I know I can get through anything, even though sometimes it feels like I can't. I think reminding yourself that you are strong is really important.
I completely agree with that. And I used to think that was bogus.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember the guy, Jed, you'll remember this. Coach Katie probably won't remember this because she probably wasn't wasting her time at 11:30 on Saturday nights watching Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You remember the guy? What was his name?
Stuart Smalley.
Smalley.
I'm good enough. I'm successful enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Yep. It was a guy. He was a self-help guru, and he would look in the mirror and he would say that all the time. And I used to think about stuff like this, these little things you say to yourself as kind of bogus. But I will say this: when I was doing the marathon portion down at Disney, and kind of a sidebar, but it started pouring down rain. I mean, just pouring down rain. I think it was about mile 11 or so. And I remember people were like just dropping like flies. They were like, as soon as it started pouring down rain.
They were quitting?
Oh,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. They were quitting because it rained?
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was pouring down rain. And they were just like, man, I'm getting in the bus. You know, there's little buses there. They may have just been getting out of the rain and maybe they jumped back. I don't know. But I started to see that happening, and I was getting stronger and stronger. And I started like saying that to myself. I'm not going to say some of the things I was saying because I was using some of our David Goggins stuff that we talked about earlier that we're not going to put on here so we don't have to put the parental guidance logo on them. But I was
going to say that's a whole other button I have to flip on the.
But I was saying some of those things, and man, I started believing it.
Yep.
I started saying those things, and I started believing it. Next thing you know, I was like, man, I'm out there just killing it. So
well, you are what you repeatedly do. How about you are what you repeatedly say to yourself?
Yeah.
How about that? And I mean, that goes kind of with one of the other things I have on here. Just telling yourself, I've got this. I've got this. And it used to kind of be a joke. One of the girls that I coached years ago, she would always say, I've got this. It didn't matter what it was. And it didn't matter if she really believed she had it or not. She was like, I've got this. I've got this. And it's true. If you just keep telling yourself, I've got this, you've got it, you'll do it. Number 3 is actually.
Hey, let me tell you a little secret about the you have got this.
Uh-oh.
I'd venture to say that Jed might can speak to this because we work together. When stuff gets really sideways and like a bomb goes off and everything's on fire, I'm really bad at a lot of stuff. But I tend to be one of those people that people look at me and they think, okay, he bad as it is, he's got this under control. Is that a fair statement, Jim?
Yeah, there's never an outward appearance of much frustration.
Yeah. But here's a secret. Externally, I'm manifesting that, and I'm telling myself that, and on the inside, could be completely scared to death and wonder what's going on. But it is that mental of saying, no, it is what it is. We're going to work through it. We got this.
I've got this. And like, I know this stuff might sound kind of silly, but I really thought that a lot of people need to hear this, especially at the end. Well, right now it's the end of January, going into February, New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, whatever.
Plenty of room in the gym now.
Yeah, there is. The other thing, so number 3, I guess, is you have 100% survival rate. I heard this, because sometimes they're like, oh, I'm not going to get through this. I'm not going to get through this. Yes, you are. You have gotten through everything in your life up to this point. You are going to get through this.
I believe Jed said that.
Yeah.
Jed said that?
I read it. I read it somewhere.
He read it. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that on one of the podcasts.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do. And it's something that I come back to all the time because sometimes I think, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. But I can, and I always have, and I always will. It's just the way you've got to think. And so I just wanted to throw that out to remind people, like, when you're saying stuff to yourself, this is good stuff to say to yourself.
So do you believe the song?
The song? What song?
Gloria Gaynor, I think is where he's going.
Oh, yes.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's not Gloria Gaynor.
I Will Survive is where
I Will Survive.
I Will Survive is
that
Gloria
piece?
Gaynor. Yes. That is a great song, by the way.
It is a great song. Hey, for those of you that are listening, look that song up and actually
maybe we can put some on the podcast.
Google the words to that song.
Yeah, that was a great song.
It was a great song.
Yeah,
that was really.
But do you believe what doesn't kill you makes you stronger?
Yes. Because, and it's actually not just that I believe it, it is true that when we do things that we don't want to do, they will make you stronger. If we're doing things that we want to do, like that we find fun, it's not necessarily going to make you as strong. Doing things where there is resistance, that's what makes you strong.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, she sounds like Katie Goggins over there.
Okay.
All right, let's go to 4. Or you want to call it 3B to make it 5, whatever.
Sure.
Just go to the next one on your list.
Okay. We all know what we need to do. Like, let's face it. I mean, we know we need to eat better. We know we need to exercise more. Just do it. Stop resisting what you need to do. Do it. Just do it. Tell yourself, just do it. In the morning, when you hit that snooze button, you're like, I think I'm going to sleep. No, get up and do what you're supposed to do. If we just did what we're supposed to do, say 75% of the time, things would be a lot better in our lives.
But how?
How?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds.
Because you wouldn't be stressed.
Everybody is
you
saying.
You wouldn't be as stressed.
Nobody is listening to this right now saying, no, you don't need to do this stuff in marriage. So how do you just do it?
How do you just tell yourself, get up, just do it. Self, get up, self, do it. We make things so much harder on ourselves than we need to. If you just have that conversation with yourself when you're laying there in bed, get up and go do your workout. That way it's not hanging over your head all day long and it's done and you will feel fantastic. You will actually feel better.
You never feel bad. You never regret putting into work.
No. It always, honestly, like you put in the work in one area of your life and then other things start falling into line because you're doing what you're supposed to. You're doing what you know you need to do.
Hey, I love that saying, Jed. Let's see if we can trademark that saying. Just do it.
Just
maybe start a shoe company.
We might run into a small hurdle.
There might be.
Small hurdle. Okay.
All right. Forget that idea. Next one.
Well, the next one I already said. You don't grow from doing easy things. And then I thought, honestly, this was a good way to end this one is do hard things.
Oh, well.
You should trademark that and maybe end the podcast.
Maybe
exactly.
In the podcast. Well, but it's not just a cute saying.
It's not.
And I think that it is, if you, the easy path is it leads to long-term pain.
The one of least resistance does not lead to growth. Yeah. Isn't that, because isn't there that saying, the path of least resistance?
Yeah.
And that's exactly the path you probably shouldn't be on, because you're not going to get where you need to go.
Anything else on these before we end it with our trademark saying?
A funny one. One of our items was "This too shall pass," and I saw a meme yesterday that said, "Could I please get an ETA on that? This too shall pass."
Oh, I like it. I like it. Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot that one.
When is it going to pass? You can't worry about that. Just know that it will.
It will. It will. But that was one that I forgot to say. This too shall pass. And the reason why I like that is because it always does. It always does. It always goes away eventually. But boy, when you're in it, it does not seem like it will ever end.
Control what you can control. And you always, when people are going through things really, really tough, let's tell them, look, you're just staring at that mountain. But on the other side of that mountain is the sunshine. If you stop right now, you're never going to see the sunshine. So just you got to climb that mountain and get over it. And once you get over that mountain, there's going to be sunshine on the other side. And that is hard to do. There's nothing that you've said today is easy. Nothing you've said is easy, but it's simple.
It is.
It's very simple, not easy. And we end the podcast every day this way because it really is. If you focus on today, control what you can control today, then the rest of the stuff will take care of itself. So with these 5 for Fridays, things you should be saying to yourself, say these things to yourself today. And if you do the hard things today, tomorrow will take care of itself.